So the next part of the SQ3R is the review, which this is the last part actually. So I guess the most important thing to know about this, first of all, is that this is an ongoing process. You don't just review it once, okay? Or better yet, you don't just read it and take notes and then just leave it forever. No, it's not going to help you retain very well. So, first I'm going to talk to you about retention and forgetting. So here is the forgetting curve on the right here, and then the average retention graph here. So this is really important to consider when you're studying. If this scares you, that might be good, I guess, in getting you to do it, because, well, let's just look at this, the curve of forgetting. So right here on the y-axis is the amount remembered from that study session. So for one study hour here, 100% almost, well, close to 100% that you remember. And then periodically, you know, just keeps going down. And then 6 weeks later, you have practically 50% retention. 50%. So think about that as getting a 50% on your exam because you forgot everything. Well, not everything, but 50% of the material. That is bad. That is failing. This is when people cram, and you're never going to get it back up to there when you cram. So this is where active and frequent studying comes in. So you have 30 minutes of studying one day, and it'll dip down. But then the next day, if you do another 15 minutes, you'll remember it again. And then just 10 minutes 1 week later, just a week. And then 6 weeks later with a 5-minute review. Right back up there. They're all the same level up here. Isn't that amazing? So really, how much time is this? So 45, 55, 60. So in total, this is just 1 hour of studying. And you get almost 100% retention. So I think that's pretty cool. And I also think that's a good reason to study more often. And then over here with the average retention, these are just things you can do to help you retain information, so you can teach other people. That's one reason I tutor, because it's helping me study for the MCAT by teaching other people. Practice by doing, so by doing like practice questions and whatnot. Discussion group, you know, if you have a study group that is, you know, productive, that's great. Visual, so maybe if you're drawing something or like looking at pictures, that helps. Reading and lecture. So just, by the way, this reading right here is just reading, like not doing the full reading that I talked about. This is just reading, because when you do reading and what I talked about, then you're practicing by doing, which is 70% retention. So the gist of that was that you need to study regularly if you don't want the stress of cramming. If you don't want to be cramming for your exams, like your final exams or even just regular exams, just do it regularly. Honestly, it takes less time to do it regularly. I know procrastination is a problem for a lot of people, and I'm not immune to that, but it really is important that you get on task, on schedule. So you can make yourself a schedule. This is what my schedule looks like. The dark ones are my classes, and then the lighter ones are like my scheduled fake study halls. It's really intense right now because the semester just started, but I'll probably adjust the times as I figure out how long it takes me to do things. So if something takes me really long time to do, I'll add time for that, but if something else just is really quick, then I'll remove time from that. So other than that, you also should probably think about what you're going to do, like daily, weekly, unitly, and then throughout the semester, things like that. So for example, for your daily process, like before class you might want to review, go through flashcards, then take notes during class, and then afterwards review your notes, write summaries, and then weekly, you know, write a weekly summary of your classes, something like that, and go over that. That's just an example. It's really up to you, and it's also part of like what the classes are. Generally, the daily and weekly summaries are really good. Even make one for like the whole unit. Obviously, that one will be longer, but it's helpful because then, just like taking notes in your from your textbook, if you do these summaries, then you don't have to reread all your notes. Just rereading your lecture notes is also not active studying. So you want to use the some of the tips I gave for reading a textbook for your lecture notes. And along with the review, you might want to create various study sheets, not just of the unit in general, but you might want to do some specific ones for things within the unit. So if you're doing a class that has any math or equations, make an equation sheet. For example, for organic chemistry, you might want to make a reaction sheet, like a master reaction sheet. Maybe make sheets to compare stuff, maybe make a sheet for like definitions, or just do flashcards for that. There are many things you can do. For organic chemistry, here I have some reactions, just like really simple, just like what the reactant is and then what happens when you get from it. Then just like a different way to synthesize the same exact information. This is what the reactant is, so you have like a halogen or something. For this one, it's saying what it does. So, like these ones here, it adds a halogen to the hydrocarbon. These ones add 2, so on. And then, type up some, like, summaries for stuff. I know this is backwards, sorry. But, color code it, whatever. And then I also have, like, handwritten reactions and mechanisms. But that's just an example from my organic chem class. But you can do the similar things for other classes. Obviously, you're not going to have reactions for, like, a philosophy class, but even or psych, whatever, make sheets like that. They come in handy, just pull them out of your folder, whatever. Look at them when you have a few minutes. Okay, so now I'm going to talk about the highlighting thing. I really don't think highlighting is that good of an idea, or at least not in the conventional way, because all it tells you is like what's important and what's not important. And that may seem logical to you, but when you think about it, if all these things are important and you're looking for a specific thing that's important, then you have to reread all of your highlights to figure out where it is. That may not seem like a big deal to you. Maybe not. Okay, that's great. There's a method called flagging. I guess it's called flagging, apparently. I just call it underlining, whatever. But like I set out kind of like what kind of things I'm gonna underline. So like I'll use this like magenta-y color for questions, and then red for disagreeing, green for agreeing, this gold kind of color for interesting points, this blue for anything that's kind of neutral, and then the purple for like focus questions that are answered, or theses or whatnot. So kind of just get an idea of that. If you don't have colored pens, or you just don't want to use like pens in your books or whatever, then use pencil and then make abbreviations to write next to it. Here's an example of some that I did. I can put a link to this in my blog that has it, not backwards, but you can see right there, there's 2 definitions that I just, what are those words? So, I mean, I don't know every single word, I'm not gonna lie about that, but, just, that's an example. But, for those, you can do this with highlighting too if you want to. Just annotate it right next to it. Use different color highlighters if you want. I still think that underlining it with colored pens or something is better, just because it doesn't like block up all the text. Because if you saw how I did it, a few times I wrote like a second set of notes. I mean, you can just write like 2 or something, because I went over it more than once. But, whatever you want to do, I guess. So there's another method, there's a method for what you can do with highlighting, and it involves having just 2 different colors of highlighters. So your first color, you're going to do like concepts, equations, and statements. So just really general stuff. If there's a really important statement, highlight it, I guess, in that one color. So let's say you want to do it in yellow. Okay, so then you have a second color, which is for examples, experimental results, data, case studies, whatever, examples mostly. And so you can do that in pink. So if there's an example of that thing, you can just do it in pink or something. That's something I've heard of people doing. I don't personally do that, but you can try it if you want to. And also, this stuff doesn't have to be directly in your book if you don't want to. You can also just highlight or underline stuff in color in your notes if that will help you. And you might also consider highlighting in like different colors for different topics. So like for example, in history, you can organize like social, political, and economic ideas with different colors, something like that. But I still think the flagging or underlining method is better just because it's a lot more specific, but that's just my opinion, I guess. Alright, well thank you for watching. Maybe follow my blog, it's in the description, I don't know. But either way, I hope this was helpful and that, you know, you get something out of this.